and doing well this weekend. And I hope everybody is getting excited for the Arsenal game. It's going to be the first game of this weekend. So for us here on the East Coast of America, it's going to be an early morning kickoff. Now, I know people like Noe on the West Coast, it's a lot earlier for them, but definitely excited for what's in store for tomorrow morning for us. And it's always good to wake up to an Arsenal game and not have to wait too long. So I'll wake up early in the morning, 6:30, and an hour before kickoff, you're going to get the lineup, and we'll get into all of that. So I want to talk about the predicted lineup, uh, possibly that Unai Emery could go with tomorrow, how we're going to play, how we're going to set up. It's our first home game of the Premier League season, and yeah, we had that fantastic win. It was a workmanlike win last weekend, but nevertheless, it was a win and something that we needed to get off to a good start with this season. Because after Burnley, I know we're all looking ahead a little bit. We have Liverpool away from home. I'm looking at that game as a yardstick as to how we have improved and how we're going to improve. Liverpool away from home will be a daunting task for sure. And then we have the Spuds at home, Tottenham, which is obviously going to bring its own energy. And everybody's going to be excited just for that, all of its own. So the players won't need to get up for that game. They'll already be up for that game playing Tottenham at the end of this month. So these are in 4 games now. We've had one versus Newcastle last weekend. These 4 games will get us kick-started into the new season under Unai Emery. Now, a couple of things I wanted to talk about, particularly starting about with tomorrow. We need to bet in some of the players that we're going to need versus Liverpool away from home and Tottenham at home. And you know what? You all know what I'm probably talking about. We need to bet in David Luiz. Now, Callum Chambers is the most likely casualty, if that's the word you want to use for that. He's going. He did nothing wrong last weekend at all. He actually played very well alongside Socrates, and I think although Newcastle didn't have a lot going forward, it's true, and we did take that one gilt-edged chance that we had, courtesy of Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I did talk about him on Monday, the day after the game. He brought that wonderful interception of a pass with a lot of speed on the right side, brought the ball forward, and was able to pick out Aubameyang. And we're all reliving that goal now in our heads. Pick out Aubameyang. Aubameyang was able to hold his run. I noticed on the replay. Aubameyang held his run, so he didn't go into an offside position, and was able to control the ball and lift it a little bit over the Newcastle goalkeeper. And a priceless goal. This is what, if you spend a lot of money with the forwards, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a premium chance dispatched by the striker. And, 56, whatever, £1 million for Aubameyang is money well spent. And you know that his Arsenal career to date has been littered with goals, and he actually shared the Golden Boot last season. Now, with the addition of players like Pepe around him and Ceballos, he should actually increase his goal output this season. And I'm seeing a lot of good things coming for him in the coming season. But I wanted to get into a few things about tomorrow. Let's get into the predicted lineup, and then I will talk about what we want to see from the Arsenal team moving forward. Um, so I would start with Bernd Leno in goal, obviously, the number one choice, the number one goalkeeper. At right back, continue with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Left back, I would like to see Monreal. I know there's been talk about Kolasinac and Ozil playing a part, but I think that will be from the substitutes bench. And obviously, as I've touched on, I would like to partner David Luiz with Socrates, and we should be able to see the range of passing from David Luiz. Like we all would like to see one or two long balls hit from the back. See if he can hit some of those forwards in stride. Um, Burnley will come with a physicality. There is no doubt about that, and they will come and test us. Last weekend, we saw a few tasty tackles going in on Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and as usual, the referee out on the day did not afford too much protection to our players. Allowed the northern team to try to rough us up a little bit, but we did withstand that. And testament to us and to our possible newfound mentality that we did withstand all of those kickings. And Ainsley Maitland-Niles was, in the end, a difference maker last weekend. Now, moving into midfield, I would play three in midfield. So I'm going to go four at the back, three in midfield, and those three should be Willock, Xhaka, and Ceballos. And I would think we have a lot of security there between Willock and Xhaka, and Ceballos probing up front. Now, the three players we all want to see tomorrow, and excited to see the three players. Hopefully, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe. These are three premium players, and a lot like the three at Manchester City, and a lot like the three at Liverpool. We need to see those players performing together on a weekend and week out basis. So that's my lineup for tomorrow. Hopefully, it's going to be a 4-3-3. I think that is Unai Emery's preferred lineup. He also likes to play a 4-2-3-1. We most likely will see that more away from home. And I think playing at home, we're going to see a lot of 4-3-3. The crowd is definitely going to be up for it. I want to see the atmosphere there. Definitely helps that Sean Dyke is the manager for Burnley. Not going to lie, he's definitely a pantomime figure for us and for Arsenal fans. You know, to replace the likes of Sam Allardyce or who the heck was that Stoke manager that we never liked down through the years either. That name will come to me later. But yeah, very excited to see. I did do a predicted score earlier. I do predict a 3-1 win for us. I just can't see us keeping a clean sheet with the introduction of VAR and all of that. I know Glenn has said to give it a chance and see what happens. But I want to see VAR impact and how it will impact one of our games. And I'm very interested to see that. Now, a couple of other things going forward. So I predicted a 3-1 result, and let's see how we get on against that loss. Cannon Fodder TV, calling you out. We have predicted different score lines. So we're going to see what happens. And surely someone amongst our subscribers and amongst Cannon Fodder TV subscribers will get the correct result. So if you're watching this and you don't have a clue about what I'm talking about, check out previous videos that I've done. We are doing a collaboration between Arsenal Fan Circle, Mahir and I, who cannot be with me right now because he is sleeping soundly right now, 6 hours ahead of me in South Africa. And we are also having a collaboration with Cannon Fodder TV. So it's Mahir and I in a team environment versus Alex and Ralph over on Cannon Fodder TV. And it's exactly what it is. You get 3 points if you predict the correct scoreline. If you predict for some ungodly reason that Burnley are going to beat Arsenal 2-1 and you get that result correct, that Burnley do beat Arsenal 2-1, you will get 3 points. We're going to do it on an individual basis as well. So any subscribers, anyone that's watching, sign up and play in this predicted scoreline challenge. This is just the second game. Now you get 3 points if you predict the correct scoreline. You get 1 point if you predict the correct result, as in an Arsenal win. So there it is. Get involved. There's been a lot of people already signed up from Arsenal fan circle that signed up last weekend. Just wanted to mention a few from Kind of Fodder TV. If you're watching this, looking for Yanni TDK to give his predicted scoreline. Sanjay Joseph, please do that. Sarav Day and 101 on Arsenal. Please give your predicted scorelines before kickoff. We would like to have you entered in the second round. And if you're wanting to know what happened last weekend, quite surreal that every one of us predicted the correct result and that Arsenal would win, but nobody actually predicted a 1-0 win to the Arsenal. A lot of us were saying 1-0 to the Arsenal throughout the week, and a lot of us were saying Aubameyang. So hopefully that can happen again tomorrow. I feel like Aubameyang will get on the score sheet again. He started off preseason very, very strong and is coming on like a train. Now, people like Lacazette, it's a good though. People like Lacazette seem to be a little bit behind the levels that Aubameyang's hitting right now. So we're getting into the next few games. We're going to see the players hitting full fitness. Now, a couple of things I wanted to ask or talk about as well. The situation with Ozil and Kolasinac. It really, really is a very desperate situation. Nobody seems to know what's going on, and it is a very, very serious situation. And I'm actually asking the question if the club can actually resolve this situation, and will Ozil, or more likely, will Kolasinac be an Arsenal player by the 2nd of September? So the 2nd of September is when the European transfer window shuts. The English Premier League window has shut, as we know, but players can still exit to Europe up until the 2nd of September. So, it's really, really is a tough situation. And anyone who has been through that harrowing situation will understand the kind of trauma mentally that it will invoke on the person. So we have to understand that it's a very, very difficult situation, and it's not just the players that are affected by it. It is also the extended family and friends, the entourage, if you will. So Kolasinac and Ozil have wives to worry about, and extended family as well. And it really, really is a tricky situation. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I think the club has taken the right steps so far, and to maybe integrate both of them onto the pitch so they can get a really, really good reception tomorrow will be no bad thing. Now, moving on from that point, and in order for Kolasinac and Ozil to come on, we will have to have a decent lead in the second half. We will have to have um, we're trying to wind down the game. This is something I want to see from the team moving forward, and this season is going to be very, very important. Um, so last season, we didn't really hit too many heights in terms of our football, in terms of the expense of our football. We hit a few heights in terms of Fulham away from home, where we won 5-1, and everyone can remember that wonderful team goal that Aaron Ramsey ended finished the back heel with. And then we go on to a few other highlights, um, such as the Leicester game at home, where we absolutely took Leicester apart in the second half. And then there was a few other workman-like performances, especially at home, where we eventually got the upper hand on the old enemy, the Spuds, down the road, beating them 4-2. These are highs for us, but there was only about 4 or 5 of those highs. We beat Chelsea at home in the league as well when at a point where we really needed to. Got ourselves into a great position with a win versus Manchester United, where we were clearly the better team, and I think we can continue to be the better team versus Manchester United. Unfortunately, we all know what happened at the end of the season, so we won't actually go into that. But a lot of what happened last season with Unai Emery and the team was we didn't play very well in the first half, and we sort of figured things out. Now, whether Unai Emery was tactically aware and made changes that won the game, or whether we actually just wore the team down, um, you know, Unai Emery certainly didn't set teams up a lot of the time in the first half. Now, I'm hoping that this season can be a little bit different. We have improved in certain areas. We have David Luiz. We're really excited to get Hector Bellerin and Kieran Tierney back. We have Ceballos playing quite well in midfield. Hopefully that continues, and he can be a mainstay for the season. Joe Willock. One thing I wanted to ask everybody, and leave comments down there in the comment section below. What is Joe Willock's ceiling? How good can this player be? We don't want to obviously overhype him, but we have to have the conversation. This Joe Willock is a player that I'm very, very excited about. I have been talking about him since when he played Blackpool in the FA Cup last season, and he seemed to be a player who could be in the right place at the right time. And I actually think he's going to get between 8 and 10 goals this season. So I'm very, very excited for Joe Willock. Such coaches as Zinedine Zidane recognize that this guy is a real player. So we need to nurture that talent and let him express himself, but also be cognizant of the fact that he is a young player. And I really want to lean toward that being the reason that Unai Emery took him off last weekend. That he's a younger player and he wants to sort of bed him into the team and have him get better and better as the season wears on. But I know Andrew from Dial Squared Aware has said that he really wants to see players stay in there on merit. And there's a conversation to be had about that as well. Whether you keep a player on merit or whether you integrate him a little bit, a young player. Uh, we don't want him to play too many minutes. So maybe Unai Emery and the team are managing that as well. And maybe, just maybe, Freddie Lundberg has an input into what's happening there as well. So I'd be very, very obviously we're all going to keep an eye on Joe Willock, and we don't want to overhype him. But I am asking the question: how good can this player be? Obviously, we don't want to. He is his own player. We don't want to compare him to other players that Arsenal have had in the past. But I'm very excited to see Joe Willock. Um, Now, also moving forward, we want to see Pepe in the front line as well. We'd love to see Aubameyang and Lacazette. I want to see how the three of these gel together with Ceballos playing the balls out to the left and out to the right. But the thing I want to see most of all for tomorrow to allow Kolasinac and Ozil to come onto the pitch and get the reception that they deserve after the traumatic few weeks that they've had. We need to start quicker and faster, and we need to put a team like Burnley to the sword. I would want to see tomorrow morning. I want to wake up and watch the game and see a real intensity to our game, a real tenacity. That days of old, Arsenal teams would go out and you knew they were going to get 3 points before they even set foot on the pitch. We want to add a little bit of a snarl to this team. We have all the creativity, we have the goals, but we need to add a snarl to this team, a tenaciousness. And I think that David Luiz can actually bring that to us along with Socrates. Um, I always hated to play against David Luiz, and he was a player that I probably did not like when he was a Chelsea player. But now that he's got the Arsenal red on, obviously we're all behind him, and we're very, very excited to see what can happen. Um, so we want to bring that intensity to the game. We want to bring a speed to the game, and we want to score goals in the first half. We didn't do a lot of that last season. I'm exactly comparing this season to what happened last season, and I want to see progression. So last year we started, albeit against Manchester City at home and Chelsea away from home. we didn't start so well points wise. I think we have started quite well. We're not obviously at our best right now. We did get a win versus Newcastle. It wasn't a resounding win, but it was a win nevertheless. And we are wanting to build on that tomorrow. So, what I want to do is score a lot of goals, get a decent lead, so that Unai Emery can think about making substitutions and us holding on to the ball in the second half from the 60th minute onwards. So we kind of have dare I say it, an easy game. Now we do have Howard Dean, who is the referee tomorrow, and we have not encountered VAR yet. So that is yet to rear its ugly head in terms of us and how it impacts Arsenal, like I said earlier. Now, another thing I wanted to touch on in a broader sense for our league campaign. As everyone knows, we are a Champions League team in that we are paying Champions League wages, we have Champions League players, but we are playing in the Europa League, which is a headache. A lot of us do not want to be in the Europa League, but we can turn that to an advantage for us. Playing in the Europa League is less demanding than playing in the Champions League. And when it comes down to it, when we start playing in the group stages and the bigger teams, Manchester City and Liverpool in particular, when they're playing in the Champions League, they will have more demands on their squad. And we should, in theory, be able to use the fact that we're playing in the Europa League, but we do have Champions League caliber players in our team, use that to our advantage. And start winning games. And I think I'm optimistic about this season. I think we can actually challenge for quite a long way. We can be up there with Manchester City, be up there with Liverpool. Now, I might be ridiculed about that. You might think completely differently, but I'm thinking on the basis of Manchester City are the champions. They will get the best from every team that they face that they have to face. Every team will bring their best commitment, their best game to them. And fair play to Manchester City, they took West Ham apart last weekend. Similarly, Liverpool are the European champions. They won the Champions League, and they will get the best from every team that they face as well. Now, Tottenham, that leaves Tottenham and ourselves. And I think we're just as good a team as Tottenham are. And so I think the four teams there can obviously compete at the top end. I think Chelsea will have a difficult road ahead. Obviously, they had a difficult result last weekend. So it remains to be seen how they go with Frank Lampard, but they're not off to a great start. Now, they did put up a good effort in the Super Cup or the Super League Cup, whatever it is, where they played Liverpool. Now, Manchester United, buoyed by last weekend's 4-0 win, and it was somewhat of a fortuitous 4-0, let's say. You can have games like that where you score a goal and then very, very quickly you get a second goal. Heads start to go down by the other team, and before you know it, you've tacked on a couple more goals, and you have a resounding win, a 4-0 win, which maybe was unjustified because Chelsea did have some good opportunities um, in the first half in that game. But I'm going to say we're going to introduce a couple more segments throughout the season. And I wanted to give this opportunity to do pre games on Friday nights here and maybe Thursday nights sometimes. But I wanted to get a pre game warm up in here for all of those who are unable to watch the podcast on Sundays that we usually go around 6 p.m. UK time on Sundays. So if you're watching this on playback, remember that I will be having pre-game warm-ups on Friday night, and this is in recognition of the worldwide impact that the Arsenal have. We have supporters in Australia. We have supporters in Hawaii. We have supporters in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Thailand. We have supporters in Russia. We have supporters in America here. So I want to give an opportunity to do live podcasts. This is a pre-match warm up, so that all of you can come on and interact on the channel. Drop your comments, drop your questions. Now, these kind of warm ups will be short, will be about 30 minutes. And I'm starting to hit close to 30 minutes, so I'll be signing off soon. And then obviously, we're going to see what happens with the Arsenal when they play, and we will have the main podcast, which is a review of the game on Sundays. So get on board with this, um, get interactive with me, and if anyone wants to come on as a co-host for the warm-ups, I'm very much open to it. Contact me on at Arsenal Circle Twitter, or leave a comment in the YouTube section here down below. But yeah, this is very excited. We have 3 points. We have a clean sheet. Um, that was away from home. We have a win away from home. This season is full of optimism. It didn't work out last season. This season is full of optimism. We go for our first home game. I think the atmosphere will really, really be good. And I'm predicting a 3-1 win for Arsenal. We'll see what Mr. Dean, our referee, does about that. You've heard my predicted lineup. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. And if you're watching this on playback and you're new to the channel, or if you've been watching the channel for a little while and you have not subscribed yet, what the hell are you doing? Sign up for the first team. Hit the subscriber button. Hit that bell notification down there, and you'll be notified of new videos coming and podcasts upcoming and all that good stuff. Our channel is growing. We're on 120 subscribers. Really appreciate everybody's come on board with me. You are all friends. I'm looking into the camera here and saying, I hope everybody's doing well. And we all want the same thing for Arsenal. We want this club to progress. We want this club to get better. And I'm very, very, very encouraged by this transfer window we just had, where we bought high caliber players such as Pepe, Tierney. We've got Ceballos on loan. We've got Saiba, who's on loan, but he's our player. We can keep an eye on him at St. Etienne. We bought a very, very decent central defender for 8 million, so that we could bring Saliba back next season, and we could also have the opportunity to move forward and go and get someone like an Upamecano, who we tried to get. We bought a young starlet from South America in Martinelli, and things are looking exciting. The ambition of the club is there. Raul is an absolute stud right now in our eyes, and we're very excited about Edu as well and what he can do, working with Unai Emery and Raul. And of course, we've yet to see the full impact of Frederick Lundberg, one of our invincibles. I'm so encouraged that there's a lot of invincibles around the club now, and that they are having an impact on what we're doing moving forward. I'm looking on with interest with other managers who have been previous Arsenal players, such as a Patrick Vieira or some other people like that, watching his career, because surely one day Patrick Vieira will be an Arsenal manager, just like maybe a Mikel Arteta. But that's for years down the line from now. But very excited about this club and what ambition we've shown over this summer, the last summer, and what I thought would be a 5-year process just became a 3-year process in my eyes. And I think that we can put up some kind of a challenge this season coming forward. We all know we're not going to win the league. But if we put up a decent challenge, and then next year we have a very, very good window, and we start betting into Saliba. Martinelli gets better. He's a player I'm interested in. Pepe's will be well established by then, and then the future looks bright for Arsenal. And we can see what happens next season. We can have a decent challenge, and maybe the season after that, who knows what can happen? Because football is very cyclical, goes in cycles. And Manchester City, believe it or not, and or Liverpool will cycle out of their dominant phase right now, because that surely will not continue. And things change in football all the time. But it's going to be an exciting ride this season watching the Arsenal. Support our predicted score challenge. Get on board with it. Drop your predicted score in the appropriate video that I just did yesterday. And yeah, let's go. Let's. I'm excited for tomorrow, and let's get the Arsenal another 3 points. And I don't really care what happens in the other games, as long as we keep on winning and we keep on performing quite well. Whatever happens, happens. And yeah, if you're watching this on playback and you're in one of those countries where the time zone will fit, come and join me next week. I'm going to keep doing these pre-game warm-ups because I want to also talk to those fans and those supporters of mine and those subscribers of mine that cannot or unable to come on to the main podcast on a Sunday. And I would absolutely love to interact with all of you moving forward. I will try to have a pre-game throughout the week as well, if there's midweek games as well. But look, I've gone on a long time right now, and yeah, if you like what you're watching, if you like what I have to hear, and there are certain things you want to talk about, let me know. But until next time, and we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. I think we will win. And I will see all of you on the podcast on Sunday. Want to announce that I'm going to have um, Sunny TV Unfiltered will be a guest with us, and I'm trying to get a couple other guests as well. So until then, I will talk to you guys soon. Come on, you Gooners.